She took a family photo and noticed someone behind the tree. The shutter clicked softly as Amelia lowered the camera, her hands still trembling from laughter. Her husband, Mark, had just tripped over their golden retriever while trying to pose. Their daughter, Lucy, 8 years old and obsessed with silly faces, had stuck her tongue out at the last second. It was perfect, a moment she thought she'd cherish. They were at the edge of Maple Creek Park, a quiet, forested area just a few miles from their new house. The autumn air had that crisp bite, and the trees were a collage of amber, crimson, and dying gold. It was supposed to be a peaceful weekend, their first proper outing since moving into the old place on Hollow Birch Lane. As Mark packed up the thermos and Lucy chased falling leaves, Amelia scrolled through the photos on her device. Smiling, tongue out, barking dog. And then she stopped. One photo. A perfect shot. All 3 of them centered, framed by the trees. But just behind Lucy, between the trees, someone was standing there. She zoomed in. Her fingers shook slightly. It wasn't a trick of the light. Behind the tree, half-shadowed, was a figure, too tall for a child, too still for someone just walking by. A pale face, blank expression, almost blending into the trunk, like the bark was part of them. She looked up. The area was empty now. Just the trees swaying gently. "Mark?" she called out. He looked up, brow furrowed. "Yeah. Did you see anyone behind us while I was taking the photo?" "No." "Why?" She hesitated. "Nothing. Probably nothing." But her instincts knew better. That night, after Lucy was in bed, Amelia transferred the photos to her laptop. The image haunted her. She cropped it, brightened it, adjusted contrast. The figure didn't disappear. In fact, it became clearer. A gaunt face. Hollow eyes. Standing still as if they'd been watching the whole time. She Googled Maple Creek Park history, but found nothing more than old hiking trail blogs and glowing reviews of the picnic area. When she returned to the photo, it was gone. No error. No deletion confirmation. Just gone. The file had vanished. Over the next few days, Amelia couldn't shake the unease. Lucy had been having nightmares, waking up crying, saying, "The tree man," was in her room. Amelia's breath caught when she heard that phrase. Tree man? They hadn't mentioned the photo to her. She hadn't seen it. "Can you tell me what he looked like?" Amelia asked gently. Lucy stared at her with glassy eyes. "He stands really still. His face looks like paper. He told me not to forget him." Mark brushed it off. "Kids and their dreams," he said. But Amelia saw the fear in Lucy's eyes. And the house, it creaked, groaned at night. The hallway lights flickered even after the electrician came. One evening, Amelia opened the attic door and found a box she didn't recognize. Inside, old black and white photographs. Families standing stiffly in the same woods where they had been. In the background of every photo, just barely visible, the same pale figure. Watching. Amelia showed one of the photos to Lucy, careful not to scare her. "Do you recognize anyone?" Lucy pointed without hesitation. "That's him." Mark finally started to worry. He searched county records, but the previous owners of the house had left no forwarding address. No obituary. Just a final recorded note. Moved, no contact. That night, Amelia heard whispering through the baby monitor. But Lucy was asleep. The whisper wasn't coming from the room. It was coming from the monitor itself. "You remembered. That's all I needed." Amelia returned to Maple Creek Park alone. The air felt heavier now. The trees more twisted. She walked back to the spot where the photo had been taken. Behind the same tree, the bark looked wrong, almost like it had been peeled back once and re-glued. Scraping gently with her keys, she uncovered what looked like initials, then more. Dozens of initials. Names. Carved deep, then sealed beneath layers of bark. One name stood out, Elijah Wren. She Googled it later, and finally found a single result buried in an archived newspaper. Boy missing in woods, 1963. Last seen near Hollow Birch. She went back to the attic. Dug deeper. Beneath the insulation, she found a wooden panel she hadn't noticed before. She pried it open. A book lay inside. Handwritten. Dozens of entries. Each one told a short story, all nearly identical. Family moves in. Child sees him first. Photos disappear. Whispers begin. They forget. Then remember. Then forget again. Some pages had names crossed out. Others ended with, taken. The last few pages were blank, except the second to last. Lucy, remembering too fast. He's getting stronger. Mark came home late from work that night and found Amelia sitting on the stairs, pale and quiet. I think the house was part of something, she said. An experiment. Not science, more like memory containment. Mark frowned. Like ghosts? No. Like forgotten people. Spirits who weren't mourned. People who vanished and no one ever asked why. She showed him the book. The carvings. The photos. The figure. They don't want revenge, she said. They want to be remembered. Mark looked at the last page, where Amelia had just written one word. Lucy. Then they heard it again. The whisper. Thank you. They decided to take one last picture. Together, in the backyard. Just the three of them. Amelia hesitated as the shutter clicked. Her hands shook slightly, like they had the first time. When she viewed the photo, it looked perfect. But she wasn't surprised anymore when she saw him, standing just at the edge of the yard, behind the old birch tree. This time he was smiling. And then, something new. Lucy smiled too. Amelia printed the photo and slid it into a frame, placing it on the mantel. Mark glanced at it and paused. Wait, when did we take that? She blinked. Just now. You were there. Mark looked confused. I don't remember taking this. Then Amelia's face drained of color. Lucy came down the stairs, clutching a faded photograph she found in the attic. It was of another family. Another girl. Standing in front of this very house. But this girl looked just like Lucy. And the mother in the picture? She looked exactly like Amelia.